is the unsung super tool of human interaction. In this book, I will pull back the curtain on what I call conversation leadership, the use of conversation to foster success of all kinds, personal and professional, large and small. This process has worked for me, and so I have begun to share it with my staff, my colleagues, and the wider business world. I have had thousands of conversations in my life, enriching and thought-provoking conversations with the famous, Wayne Huizenga, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Steve Case, to name a few, and the not-so-famous, my grandmother Margaret, the folks who do my dry cleaning, and Bob, the new employee in my telemarketing division. Yet, as diverse as my discussions and the people I have enjoyed them with have been, they all have one thing in common. I've learned something valuable from each and every one of them. This book will take you inside the process of conversation leadership. Through my own experiences, I will explain how to use the power of conversation to create opportunities both in business and in life. To begin with, there are certain principles that I feel are very important to every leader. For instance, converse, even if you think you can't. Conversation leadership requires patience and practice. I was born shy, and I had to put great effort into developing my communication skills, but to say it was worth it does not even explain a fraction of the enrichment conversation leadership has brought into my life. Another principle is, leave your judgments at the door. Sure, it's easy to be impressed by the slick B-school grad with the fancy college tie and the $4,000 suit, but that pedigree doesn't guarantee that he will have the right solution to every problem. Back when I had my first flower shop in New York City, customers would come in, everyday people with everyday lives, and many of them would share homespun pearls of wisdom about the importance of relationships and how making mistakes is not only human, but essential to learning and improving. These conversations provided insights that I continue to live by today, nearly 40 years later. Another key principle is very simple, but sometimes hard to do. Shut up and listen. We all have a tendency to concentrate on what we're going to say next. Business leaders in particular are often expected to dominate the discussion. But falling under the siren spell of your own voice is a sure way to miss out on the true benefits of conversation. I have always learned the most by simply starting a discussion and then letting others take it from there. One example of conversation leadership that I would like to share with you revolves around a philosophy that is close to my heart and my business. My brother, Chris, who is president of 1-800-Flowers.com, and I have often discussed the concept of conscious capitalism. This ideal joins capitalism and philanthropy in a way that creates a path to doing well in business while also doing good for our communities and for society as a whole. When talking about conscious capitalism, Chris and I keep coming back to the theme we use to describe our company. We're in a good business. As a provider of beautiful flowers, gourmet baskets, and other thoughtful gifts, we're in the business of delivering smiles, as we say. Of course, as a publicly owned company, we work to grow our profits each year and create value for our shareholders. Still, we also have an opportunity and an obligation to engage with all of our constituencies, from shareholders and vendors to employees and customers across the country, and to make a difference in the communities in which we live and work. Toward this ideal of conscious capitalism, I recently began to seek out conversations with business associates, friends, employees, and others whose opinions and thoughts I value, looking for a way to focus all the various and wonderful initiatives that we do throughout the company and as individuals. Could we find a way to combine our efforts and put more wood behind the right arrow to take our philanthropic efforts to the next level and beyond? During these conversations, more than one person pointed out that such an opportunity may already exist in a program we have been involved with for many years. Almost 15 years ago, Chris and I helped build a greenhouse.